September 10th, 2001. One day before the world changed forever, Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld stood at a podium and made an announcement so shocking it should have dominated headlines for years. He told the American people, and I quote, that the Pentagon could not track $2.3 trillion in transactions. $2.3 trillion. Gone. Without a paper trail. And then, September 11th happened, and the story vanished. I'm Mr. Gray. Welcome to Unknown Paths. Tonight, we follow the money. But that was just the beginning. In 2017, an economics professor named Mark Skidmore from Michigan State University did something no one in government wanted done. He actually checked the books. Working alongside former Assistant Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Catherine Austin Fitts, Skidmore analyzed official government financial reports from the Department of Defense and HUD spanning the years 1998 through 2015. What he found defied belief. $21 trillion. $21 trillion in what auditors call unsupported accounting adjustments. That means money moved, entries were made, but no one can say where it came from, where it went, or what it was spent on. Let me put that number in perspective for you. $21 trillion is more than the entire GDP of the United States for an entire year. It's more than the combined GDP of Japan, Germany, the United Kingdom, and India. That's roughly $65,000 for every man, woman, and child living in America today. And it's gone. Consider this. In 2015 alone, the United States Army reported $6.5 trillion in these unsupported adjustments. $6.5 trillion in 1 year. That same year, the Army's entire annual budget was $122 billion. Let me repeat that. They couldn't account for more than 50 times their own annual budget. How does that even happen? In any other organization, a corporation, a small business, a household, this kind of discrepancy would mean immediate audits, prison time, scandal. At the Pentagon, it's been happening for decades. A law passed in 1996 requires every federal agency to pass an independent annual audit. Every single agency complies except one, the Department of Defense. They've spent tens of billions of dollars upgrading their accounting systems, trying to become what they call audit-ready. And year after year, those systems are scrapped. The audits fail. The numbers don't add up. When Skidmore tried to get answers from the Inspector General's office, he was denied access to the investigators who worked on the reports. When he contacted the Congressional Budget Office and the Government Accountability Office, he was told, if there was a real problem, there would have been hearings. There have been no hearings. So the question isn't whether the money is missing. The government's own reports confirm that. The question is, where did it go? Catherine Austin Fitts, who ran the numbers with Skidmore, has a theory. She believes this missing money was systematically siphoned into what's called the black budget, a network of classified programs operating with zero public accountability, zero congressional oversight, and zero documentation. According to her research, at least 170 underground facilities have been quietly constructed across the United States and along its coastlines. Deep underground military bases, secret research facilities, entire installations that don't officially exist. Think about that for a moment. If an organization with unlimited budget and zero oversight wanted to build things you weren't allowed to know about, wouldn't it look exactly like this? We know the Pentagon classifies more than its share of programs. We know they have admitted to running secret aircraft projects, surveillance programs, and weapons systems that didn't exist on paper, until they did. We know the technology gap between what the military publicly acknowledges and what they actually possess is often decades wide. So, $21 trillion, off the books, over 18 years. What could you build with that kind of money? What would you not want the American taxpayer to know about? What makes this worse is what happened after the discovery. When Skidmore published his findings, the government didn't investigate. They didn't open hearings. They didn't demand answers. Instead, the Department of Defense requested that Congress rescind the requirement to produce an unclassified version of their future year's defense program. They asked permission to stop showing you where your money goes, and nobody stopped them. Donald Rumsfeld went before Congress in 2005. He was questioned about the missing trillions. He offered no substantive answers, no records, no accountability. Nothing happened to him. Nothing happened to the auditors who signed off on these reports. Nothing happened to the contractors who allegedly received the money. $21 trillion. That's your money, taken from your paycheck, taken from your taxes, taken from your children's future. And the people who took it don't even have to tell you what they bought with it. The next time you hear the government say they can't afford healthcare, or they can't afford infrastructure, or they can't afford to fix the roads you drive on, remember this number. They can afford it. They already have your money. You just aren't allowed to know where it went. In 1996, Congress passed a law demanding every federal agency open its books. That was 30 years ago. The Pentagon still can't pass an audit. The $21 trillion is still missing, and no one in Washington is asking where it went. You don't have to believe in underground bases or secret space programs to see there's a problem here. You just have to be able to read a financial statement. The numbers don't lie, but the people who hide them do. I'm Mr. Gray. Welcome to Unknown Paths, where every shadow has a story. The question is, are you ready to follow the money?